Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trollpastas, a series where me and Afton read some cringeworthy stories on the internet. Today, we're reading a Trollpasta called A Pokemon Creepypasta, Don't Die. Now, I would like to warn everyone that this particular Trollpasta is extremely graphic. In fact, me and Afton actually kind of lose our minds in the middle of it because of how ridiculous it gets. But that aside, viewer discretion is advised. If you're cool with that, sit back, relax, and enjoy a Pokemon Creepypasta. Don't die.
Okay.
Do you want to take up this?
Sure,
Just
friend,
just
I'll do
just
this.
just tell me when you need a break.
I will. As a kid, I was always a huge fan of Pokemon. I
He's a
collected as many. I
Just
will
cut out.
strangle you.
Wait,
I collected
you
as
know
many
what I'm
trading
referencing?
cards as I could. Watched every episode of the American dub, and of course collected all of the games. Each one brought me endless adventures as I manufactured small Pokemon armies and learned everything I could about each Pokemon I encountered. My bookshelf was stuffed with all kinds of reference guides, Nintendo Power articles, and cheat code manuals to almost every game I own. However, probably my favorite kinds of Pokemon games were ones that
What the fuck you just say?
Okay. Ugh.
Favorite kind of
However,
Pokemon games are the
probably my
ones.
favorite kinds of Pokemon games were ones that deviated from the normal formula, such as Pokemon Snap or the Stadium game. Of any game in the franchise, my favorite, hands down, was Pokemon Stadium for the N64. Not only were there spectacular battle animations in full-fledged 3D graphics, but there were all kinds of extra touches to it. Out of all the bonus features, my favorite was minigame mode. I still remember all the fun times I had playing those minigames with my sister and friends, along with all the great laughs and fun we shared then. But those experiences became but memories when I sold most of my games for college tuition.
Holy shit! How expensive were
Sadly,
those
I
games?
ended up. I was gonna say, oh my god.
Average college tuition's like
Uh,
$20,000. Not even that.
yeah,
It's
it's a
it's it's
lot.
a it's like 30,000 low end.
I was gonna say it's a lot. Oh
Wait, no, he said
boy.
he had cards. Do you think he had some hollows?
Oh, maybe he got that extra super duper rare. Pay Logan Paul and he'll bitch slap your mother. Charizard card.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I think I'm losing it.
Okay, keep on going.
Anyways, sadly, I ended up dropping out of college, putting the kibosh on those efforts to begin with. After about a year of job hunting, I was able to scrounge up a decent paying job and earn a solid living. Oh, hold on, I gotta wait for it to stop moving. But there was still those nostalgic memories I wanted to relive. After a quick search online, I was able to find a mint condition Pokemon Stadium cartridge on eBay.
What the
After
fuck?
5 days of strong anticipation, I finally had reunited with one of my most cherished childhood memories, my favorite game for my favorite console. With intense excitement running through me, I placed the game into the N64 while dressed in my homemade Pikachu outfit and
Wait.
pressed
What?
start.
Wait. Hold up. What? Are you sure this isn't you?
That don't you even say that. First off, no. Second off, I ain't a furry.
I'm not a furry, I'm a feathery. I like birds.
We all know reptiles are better. Anyways, it showed the
You
N64 as a
wanna come over
promo,
here?
but something seemed off. Rather than Pikachu cheerfully saying Pika I can't do that voice right now. Oh my god. I that was awful. Upon the logo's appearance, it sounded as if it yelled Pika in pain, similar to when you KO Pikachu in Super Smash Bros. By hitting him into the sky a la Team Rocket. I chalked up the change the change the time distance between my last
Last
play
play
and
and
start as
start
the
as the
cutscene
cutscene
began.
began.
That one did some damage to my brain. Okay. From this point on, everything was normal. The opening screen, menu, and city selection screen looked perfectly normal. I decided to relish in the minigames before doing any battles. But that was when things got weird. Rather than say Kids Club, the option instead read out the playing field, something slightly more intimidating and mysterious than my previous recollection.
Okay,
I decided to let that fly as well, and presumed.
Okay,
Presumed.
I can't remember.
Presumed.
I
Presumed.
presumed. Okay, I never played Pokemon Stadium,
Neither have I,
so
actually.
I don't know how accurate any of this is.
Sorry to all the folks who, all
They're
three of
probably
you who remember
fiending.
my Pokemon content. I'm sure they're fuming about the fact that I've never played Pokemon Stadium, but I have never played.
At least the
Actually,
original.
I might. Hold on. Let me Google something. Is that the one that I'm thinking of?
While you do that, I'm gonna see if I can find them.
No, I haven't. What's the one that I'm thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Pokemon Battle Royale. Yeah. I've played PBR. I haven't played
This is $50.
Stadium.
Damn.
Have you seen the prices on like main
Yeah,
series games that they don't print anymore? People are
I
selling
know.
Pokemon Black for like $150. It's absurd.
I'm a video game collector. I know how this shit works.
Yeah, I know.
All right. You
I
need a break?
decided that the funniest game would be the first to be played, the Clefairy memory game. Once the game started, I'd noticed something was different about this game than one I'd played. The Clefairies seemed nefarious. Oh, nervous.
Dr.
He
Nefarious.
seemed nefarious.
Evil.
I am so sorry for your audience that none of my absolutely manic laughter is getting caught because of the devil, also known as Crisp.
Turn it
Oh
on.
boy. It's so unfortunate that y'all aren't getting the full Afton G Kier experience of shrieking laughter.
Trust me, you don't want to.
You don't. It will
My
hurt your
butthole
ears.
hurts from last time.
What? Anyways, the Clefairies seemed nervous, almost fearful in contrast to their usually upbeat depiction. The teacher also had this darker, mean-looking demeanor. The commands to memorize came with no introduction, and the vanished with simply "do it" written on the board.
Do it.
The music started, my Clefairy hitting the notes perfectly. The others didn't do as well. However, instead of a toy hammer hitting them, a real metal sledgehammer appeared and hit them each as they missed a note. It sounded like an actual impact of metal against skull, with blood seeping from their heads.
Okay, can we just
They
like
would scream in pain.
Okay,
Yeah?
should we just appreciate how fucking 0 to 100 that shit
Oh
went?
yeah. It went from, there's something a little bit off to this game, to sledgehammers. I am turning Clefable into paste. Yeah.
No, it's Clefairy, dumb fuck. You call yourself a
Oh, it is
Pokemon fan.
I am. My brain is not working, as is probably obvious by now. Okay, we're working.
Almost as
They would
if
scream in pain, and each scream sounded strangely realistic. Okay, here's the thing, right?
What?
You can talk about realistic. What the hell does a realistic Clefairy scream sound like?
Don't you know Clefairies are real? Almost as if something in the TV was making that noise.
Oh.
Despite this, I somehow managed to play through the rest of the game. The Clefairies became more bruised and beaten as the game progressed.
Hold on, they're getting bruised and beaten, and they're able to cry, implying they're alive. You're telling me that if I took a metal sledgehammer to one of those little marshmallow goblins, they'd survive the first impact?
Some of those motherfuckers can survive earthquakes, bro.
That's true, actually. I forget that Clefairy is absurdly tanky. Never mind. Continue.
Just think about Pokemon in general. You got kids fucking setting off magnitude 10 earthquakes sometimes.
That's true.
Like, God, what the fuck does what must insurance look like in that world?
Me when I summon an entire hurricane to deal with a level 1 Bidoof.
Insurance.
Sorry, man, but this entire city got wiped out after the toddler with a god that formed the land decided to use precipice blade just a little too close.
All right.
Whoopsie, we took out half of Lower Manhattan. I don't know.
Same thing with superhero movies, but we can get to that when we get to
That's tr- that is we've talked about this in call before.
insurance.
Oh my god.
Insurance agents when another alien starts to come to Earth.
Me after getting out of my 9 to 5 only to see the Hulk grab a chunk of the building I live in and throw it at the latest alien threat. Literally, they finish the fight and it's all triumphant and they're like, "Oh yeah, they won." And then you look around and it's like 9/11 times
Looks like
100.
it.
There's just what? What do you mean you won? Think about how many people probably died in that fight. It's a lot.
Damage control are the true MVPs.
Damage control have the greatest superpower of this entire thing, which is not getting sued. They're on par with the FNAF legal team. That's what you always like to say, right? They're on par with the Freddy's legal team.
Freddy Fazbear Entertainment's legal team. Okay, with Tears and Blood
or Incorporated.
Fucking no.
Okay.
Look that up in
Anyways,
canon.
Continue.
With Tears and Blood disfiguring
it's two different. They get referred to that at two different points in the canon. In the later games, they're LLC. In the earlier games, they're Incorporated, which implies that after in FNAF 6 they go under, they actually get brought back. But whatever. Now's not the time to be talking about silly FNAF details.
Five Nights at Freddy's. With Tears and Blood disfiguring their appearances more and more. Upon losing their HP, they lie motionless on the ground, a puddle of blood growing around them. I'd won, but the Clefairy I played as broke down, sobbing over the death of her fellow Pokemon. Despite the horrifying image, it played the victory tune with the Player 1P Wins title appearing. I was naturally shocked at what I'd just witnessed. However, I played 2 more times just to make sure this is a real game. Sure enough, the only difference after the first match were which of the Clefairies won. Okay, so this dude sees like a cartel torture tape game and decides I'm not going to turn this off.
Finally, a relatable protagonist. This is so incredibly... I really hope that some of my viewers who only ever know me as that silly guy who talks about podcasts every once in a while come over here and listen to me screaming obscenities and talking about cartel beheading videos.
Funky Town.
I'm sorry to any of you who thought this would be a fun experience and are now traumatized.
You're fucking on this channel, okay?
That's true. That's what you should expect out of some Dub Me Takeshi as opposed to Afton G Kier, a great YouTube channel that you should go check out in the description, please.
I began to realize
I'm gonna post a comment.
I began to realize I might have come across some grotesque mod cartridge. Oh, you think? I decided to play the Pikachu/Voltorb game to see what would happen.
Oh, not Pikachu.
Like the Clefairy game, the Pikachus and Voltorbs looked incredibly scared of some sort of impending event. The game began with me racing first due to my strong button mashing skills. In but seconds, I had won, but would soon regret it. The lightning built up in the lightning rod as it should have, but the Pikachus and Voltorbs let out a scream in agony as the lightning hit them.
Oh, wait,
it shouldn't affect them.
They're electric types. Doesn't electric resist Wait, yes. Am I dumb? Electric resists electric, right? I spent like a week looking at type resistance charts so that I could figure out if
yeah, electric resists electric.
Electric resists electric. Yeah, I'm not insane. Okay.
We're not reaching Strange Izzle right now.
No.
Okay. Lightning hit them.
No.
Once it had cleared, they were lying dead on the ground, their bodies charred into revolting blacks and brown. It didn't look cartoony or charcoal-like either, but with blisters and charred flesh. Like before, the music title appeared. Okay, so that's the one thing that stays consistent.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
Nothing.
Did you just read ahead?
No, I'm Googling to see if there might be something my audience might be more familiar with, but nope, never mind.
The Lickitung game. They were, I was shocked, but I tried to move on, trying to ration any possible lightheartedness out of the game. However, it only got worse. The Lickitung game. They were eating putrid and often toxic items that would make them constantly throw up everything they'd eaten. There were red chunks and streaks in their vomit. Holy shit. Player 1 wins. The Rattata game. They were walking across conveyor belts littered with broken glass and nails that were coated. Holy shit!
Tasty.
Intensify upon jumping. Player 1 wins. The Kakuna Metapod minigame. If any lost their HP, there would be a sickening crunch and they wouldn't deflatten, reduced to a crude red stain on the ground. Player
That's
1
interesting
wins.
because actually, hold on. So
What?
canonically, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Metapod, Metapod's whole like being is just soup. It's just organ soup inside of its body.
That's
So
what
if you
its
tip
metamorphosis,
over Metapod, this is like that's actually just what would happen. You tip over a Metapod and you just get soup on the ground. You
Player
just
one
get
wins.
blood soup.
Hell, the Magikarp game. The button on the counter had sharp spikes pointing downwards that would visibly impale the poor fishes.
Hell.
L plus ratio plus
Plus
one
you
wins.
got stabbed.
plus
L
player.
plus ratio plus player 1 wins.
Yeah, plus player 1 wins. Every game
Legendary.
featured some sort of gruesome twist on the old games I knew and loved. Each was worse than the last, and the Pokemon seemed to become more fearful as the game went on, almost as if begging me for the spare them. In a grueling half hour, I'd played every game. However, the screen went to
I
colorful.
love that this like person keeps going on about, oh god, it's so awful. I can't look at it anymore. It's terrible.
Half hour later?
It hurts me so much. Anyways, I'm gonna play all of the mini games.
However, the screen went to colorful static after the last game was won, and the console shut down. I should have been thankful, but for some reason I turned it back on. All there was some text. No Pikachu sound, not N64 logo, just text. Are you content? A selection box appeared, yes or no?
Jesus Christ.
No.
Okay,
A
hold
pause.
on.
What?
When it said a selection box appeared, I genuinely heard the make a text bubble appear sound from the Pokemon games. I can't make that sound with my mouth, but you know what I'm talking about.
I'll edit it in.
My brain. What has Trollpasta done to my brain? I think the combination of Trollpasta
We've double
and
dosed.
Among Us we've double dosed, right? Doing Trollpastas and Among Us public lobbies in like a 3-hour time span. Not even. We spent it was exactly 1 hour playing Among Us. It's not been an hour doing this in like 2 hours time. Oh my god. Oh,
All
okay,
right.
continue.
A pause. So you want to see more? Another yes or no? No.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
No. Then why did you kill them? No selection. I looked around while horrified, hoping this was an elaborate prank. I decided to do the crazy thing. Talk to my TV. I don't know. This gummy's really good.
What are you eating?
Swedish fish.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Best. I'm gonna say this right now, and I know that a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this. This might even be a more controversial take than like me making references to cartel beheadings. But Swedish fish are genuinely some of the best candy ever created.
They're not
They
even
are.
Swedish.
No, but you put me in a room with those things, it's gonna be a bad time for the Swedish fish. I will eat an entire gallon bag of those. I should never be trusted near them. I cannot buy them in large quantities, or I will eat all of them.
There was a long pause, about 30 seconds.
It's
Then I
crazy
have
'cause
a new
don't
game
do
for
that
you
with any other
to
candy.
play. A mega game. Mega
Mega
game?
Evolution. They're bringing it back, boys.
After
They're
all you've
bringing
played,
back
you'll love
Mega
it.
Evolution. Oh my god.
This is literally fucking a decade prior this game was
Shut up.
released. The playing
Bringing
field
back
screen.
Mega Evolution.
The playing field screen appeared in a flash. Only one game visible. I hovered the cursor over that game. No title, no instructions, or even Pokemon appeared. I hit start. Ready? The text said yes or no. Why the hell did I press yes? That's a very good question. Very well.
Sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit.
Very well. It's time to play a new game. Did you did you
Don't
did you fuck
die.
did you fucking read ahead?
I saw one thing, one sentence that was so absurd.
Don't die. The screen went blank, leaving my bedroom in total darkness. Even the light on the N64 went out. I navigated through the darkness to examine. The TV, it was off, but the game console was still warm, as if it was still on. Then, I heard something. I heard a rattling noise come from a wooden casing on the television that it was perched on. I reached out to touch the television, and it was vibrating. The screen flashed on, the brightest static possible, prompting me to jump back and shield my eyes. The TV was shaking to the point where it was completely noticeable. After a cracking noise, the screen exploded into 1,000 pieces as a cornucopia
Cornucopia. There's a
of
cornucopia of tendril-like wires
tendril.
shot out and barely missed me as they implanted themselves into the wall. So it's circuitry. It's
Uh,
it's the cable Pokemon. That's what they're doing here.
oh, I've
Oh,
seen
fuck this, I screamed as I hightailed it for the door.
I've seen enough I've seen enough fun videos to know where
Oh
this is
no,
going.
no.
All right, keep on
When I
going.
reached the first floor, I noticed that the house was shaking as if an earthquake was afoot.
Were we just talking
Vases and
about this?
pictures were falling off of their perches. Yeah, we were. And tables to shatter on the floor. I lunged for the front door and ran across the street that house's yard, looking on as the house behind me contorted and made splintering noises. Sweet Virgin Mary, I screamed as I watched all of this unfold. The windows on the upper floor glowed brightly and began to resemble eyes. The entire lower floor grew a huge crack as it formed a mouth with sharp, massive teeth. This is just, that one movie with the really creepy motion capture CGI Monster House?
Yeah, Monster House.
That's just this. That's just what's going on here.
It's the Monster House, yeah.
It's the Monster House. And then the dirt and foundation around it began to swell as the house rose to reveal a massive 10-story 10-story robotic body.
What the
It looked
fuck?
to the skies and gave out a massive ear-splitting primal scream that rocked the city and shadowed windows for miles. Okay,
And probably
question.
a bunch of girls' glasses
Right?
dildos.
How-
All right, back to the video.
Okay, back to the video. So my question here, right, is how is a scream massive? Like, massive implies that it has mass. Did the thing scream so loudly that the air solidified?
You don't
That's
fucking-
kind of terrifying.
Bro, it's a fucking troll pasta.
And I'd managed to frantically hotwire a limo.
Wait, okay, there's just a limo.
I'd managed to frantically
Maybe
hotwire a
this is
limo
the maybe
nearby
this is the
and
maybe
took
this,
off as
no. Maybe this is the
Yeah?
same limo from Sonic High School.
Oh, maybe. True. No, never mind. I just remembered the detail about the limo. God damn it.
You looked. All right.
Okay, we're not getting into that can of worms today.
I'd managed the. Okay.
And took off. As the monster house robot gave chase, I was speeding at 100 miles an hour, and the abomination was gaining. I only wanted to play with some Pokemans, I screamed at my aggressor. The monster had managed to reach me and wrapped its hands around the limo. It spun me around like the Iron Giant and let go, sending me sailing over the city. I was screaming at the top of my lungs as I watched the city beneath me roll by. Heck, I'd probably be on the opposite side upon landing. I clenched my eyes shut as hard as I could and wrapped my arms around my head as I neared the ground. It was followed by the loudest smash I had ever heard in my life. There was nothing visible in the windshield due to the massive dust cloud before the limo. Coughing up dust and debris, I tumbled out of the inverted limo and onto the floor of whatever structure I'd made a unique entrance to. I could hear other people coughing. As the dust settled, I realized I'd crashed into a pillow fight of some sort.
Let's take this over.
Supermodel slumber party in the penthouse of a hotel. You can take over from here. However, I do have to mention something, right?
Yeah.
Coughing up dust and debris? Debris?
He coughed up a cinder block.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, that's where the left wheel
Okay,
of the limo went.
can we just appreciate how it went from
It's
a
gone. It
a
went from
poorly
0 to 11, right when they smashed the Clefairy with the sledgehammer, and now we're currently chilling at a solid 72. What happened to this story?
I think okay, so if I had to yeah, whatever. We'll go. We'll talk about
All
it in
right,
our rating.
continue. We'll do a analysis. We'll do a breakdown at the
There
end.
were about 12 girls there. The closest one looked at me with rage. What the hell are you doing here, you pervert? She screeched. You all have to get out of here. We'll all die if we don't. Apparently nobody said that.
Okay, so the biggest question here to me, though, right?
Yes.
The significant part of this. Also, that's implied, right? That it's from
Yes.
narrator. Anyways, the craziest part to me is that this person just did a barrel roll into their apartment, and they're like, "Oh my god, clearly this person is here to perv on us." What kind of
What kind of
perverts have
world are
y'all
they?
been dealing
Are
with?
they living in the? They're living in the Sonic High School world.
They're doing more than that. They're living as Twitch streamers.
What?
It's the only explanation. Have you not seen some of the crazy stuff that Twitch stalkers do?
Yes.
There was that whole who was it? Was it Amaranth was the one who got like
The
I know
plant?
there was some critical no, there was some critical video about it, about how Amaranth got like followed by some maniac for a month. It happens a lot though. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry if I'm a Twitch
I
streamer.
think there was some guy. I don't remember what Twitch streamer it was, but there was some guy who like set a car on fire in front of one of their houses, I believe. That was a thing.
I like to think that they weren't even involved and like they didn't even know they were a streamer.
That's even funnier. Just I really hate the look of this house. Like I hate that they painted it that shade of yellow, so I'm gonna burn their car.
I don't know if I'm a
Anyways,
streamer.
continue. We gotta finish
I'm
this.
carrying my 9.
Fair enough. I'm
Liar,
carrying my
eat this.
ceremonial dagger.
Another one nearby said. She threw a glass of water at me. Then the other girls ganged up on me and began slamming me with their pillows, inflicting a surprising amount of pain on me. Fuck, they filled them with the debris that he coughed
I was
up.
gonna say that's where the cinder block went.
Stop it, you're going to doom us all, I begged. Too late for that, eat this. I looked up to see one of them aiming an armed bazooka at me. I screamed and ran out of that room. I ran down the hallway in the opposite direction. The supermodel with the bazooka jumped out of it and aimed me down from her point. Say goodbye, she screamed out just as I reached a dead end. However, the wall behind her smashed to pieces as a massive robot hand reached through and grabbed her. She screamed as she was lifted out, dropping the bazooka. I ran to the hole in the wall to see the monster climbing the hotel as if he was King Kong, the girl screaming in its hand. I armed myself with the rocket launcher and strapped it to my back. Hey, over here, I screamed to the monster. It noticed me and reached out to grab me in the same hand the model was in. It climbed to the top of the building, flailing us about as biplanes from the 1930s tried to slay the beast. What the fuck is going on?
I've given up on questioning it.
Stay calm, I've got an idea,
Okay.
I screamed to the girl. Okay, she screamed back, apparently. I aimed the weapon at the monster's other shoulder. With a loud poof, rocket sailed through the air and made contact. It was blown to pieces, shocking the monster. It swayed off the edge of the building and grabbed onto the floor 5 stories from the top. We could make a break for it. Run, I'll hold it off. But you'll never make it, she responded. I said go. She looked up at the floor within reach, back to me, then regrettably ran off. All right, Sean Turner wants to battle. I said as I managed to jump onto the back of its hand. I aimed the bazooka right towards its mouth. Sean Turner... What the fuck?
I guess
Sean
we've now got a
Turner.
canon name for our protagonist.
Sean
here.
Turner used
Sean
explosion.
Turner.
The rocket sailed into his mouth. The ensuing explosion destroyed any remnant on it of having a head, followed by a massive fireball of blue flame. Ooh.
Uh,
It formed into a demonic face and screeched for a few seconds before vanishing. Then the floor became an incline as the monster's body descended. I ran with all my stride as the floor slid away from the rest of the hall, leaping in time to latch onto an edge. Behind me, a symphony of crashing noises gave way as the monster's demise validated. I climbed onto the edge, laying back and
Hold
grasping
on.
for
I
air.
think
I only
I
saw
think we gotta
the...
stop for a second because there is one thing that I have to mention
What?
here. As the monster's demise was validated, is the most like I speak as a person who has I feel like I have a lot of
Some
moments where it
Charles
just sounds like I've
Dickens...
opened up a glossary and I'm picking out synonyms of words so
Charles
that I can
Dickens
most
type ass.
effectively. But like, oh my god, was validated? This is literally just going to dictionary.com and being like synonyms for
Confirmed.
finish,
I don't
for
fucking know.
done, for I don't even know what the context was here, right? That's the problem.
All
This
right.
gave way as the monster's demise was validated. Like
That's the
they
type of
run
shit
him
I would
through the
write
little
as like a fucking
universal.
joke.
They run him through the little universal machine, and they're like, "Well, I guess it's official. He's dead." Ding. Moving on to the next one.
So we know this is Sean Turner.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sean Turner.
but it was suddenly occupied by the face of the girl who was only a minute trying to kill me. You saved us all. Yeah, I did. Upon that phrase, her face started to change. What was once a face of wonder and astonishment became a look of gratefulness, attraction, and a hint of passion. She leaned over. She leaned over me till she was only a few inches from my face. I turned my head to its side. She got closer to my ear and she started to whisper, "Why are you wearing a Pikachu suit?"
This hurt
That's a
to
good
both
question.
read and listen to.
Okay.
So you are mental sick.
Yeah, the first
You are
comment, you are
sick.
mental sick.
The
Okay.
first and only comment, you are mental sick.
So can we appreciate how it went to admittedly pretty bad creepypasta to whatever the fuck this
insane.
last part was?
Insane. Like I made a joke about it being what 72. By the end, it hit a full 100. It's gone right off the rails.
Motherfucker, we got to 88 miles per hour.
We got to 88 miles per hour. So I was gonna say,
So what do you
the
give
thing
her?
is, right?
What
I'm gonna give my official
what's your rating?
my rating
Yeah,
from an
Out of 10.
entertainment standpoint
10.
or from a writing standpoint?
no, out of 10.
From an entertainment or writing standpoint.
Just out of 10. Just what would you rate the story out of 10?
I'm gonna actually rate this like a solid 4, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we're on Trollpasta. That's like highest of the high.
I'm gonna give it a Pikachu suit out of 10.
Okay, fine. Because it just here's the thing to me that also feels really weird is reading through this. There are moments where I can tell like this is a semi-competent writer, if not a pretty good writer, right?
My man decides to go off the fucking rails in the very end. So.
And decides to write this to come up with Pokemon Creepypasta, Don't Die. Which I actually think would not be half as memorable or entertaining if it didn't, in those last few minutes, just take an absurd deep dive off the end.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
My man's
But
just
anyway,
said fuck it. And...
I genuinely think it started as a creepypasta, and then I think the author of this
just said fuck it.
Old Sean, I'm gonna call him, because that's the protagonist's name.
Is that the name of a celebrity?
I feel like I recognize the name, but it doesn't seem like.
This is him.
Ah, yes, the big sexy Sean Turner.
This man. This
wearing
man
a Pikachu shoot, proceeded to bazooka a giant robot monster.
I'm gonna take a JPEG
Honestly,
of this, and I'm gonna Photoshop like the shittiest fucking
Pikachu onesie you can find.
Yeah, just put him in it.
That should just be the thumbnail.
That will be the thumbnail. Fuck you.